Rex, formerly known as Megan Leavey in the States, is directed by Gabriela Cowperthwaite and it stars Kate Mara. The film is based on a true story and it follows this character of Megan Leavey, played by Mara, who is a little bit at the end of the rope. She's kind of coasting through life, particularly after the death of her best friend, and she decides to join the military, hoping it's going to straighten her out. It doesn't quite seem to be doing the job at first. She's still kind of off the rails, doesn't quite fit in there, until she ends up in the dog department. I don't know what you'd call them, but basically these dogs that they send out on the front line. They're essentially on the front of the front line, sniffing out bombs and weapons that are going to kill the soldiers there. And she kind of forms this bond with the dog, goes out to Iraq with it, and it's really all about that, about how the dog is essentially just as much a part of the team, of the outfit, as any human soldier. And they strike this bond, and when she's kind of separated from the dog, when she gets back home, she has this fight to get back to it, really, and to get it out of the military, to adopt it. So it's based on a true story, like I say, and it's actually a pretty good film, a lot better than I was expecting. I think the opening 20 minutes kind of struggle. I wasn't finding myself getting invested a great deal in the opening 20 minutes because I feel like there's not quite enough conflict for the character, for this central character. It feels like she's a bit mopey. There's nothing really there to make me want to follow her in the way that we should. However, after those 20 minutes, once she gets into this military base, or more importantly, she's shipped off to war with this dog, that's when the film really takes off, and I become quite invested, quite gripped, and some of the battle sequences really pull you in. Then towards the end of the film, I find myself really caring about what happens to this dog. There's some good support in the shape of Common, Edie Falco and Tom Felton, but particularly from Bradley Whitford. I'm a big fan of Bradley Whitford. Obviously I'm a huge West Wing fan. He was most recently in Get Out. Most people probably know him from that, and The Post, in fact. I like him. I think he's always good for my money, and he's always able to do something with little supporting roles, and that's no different here. Kate Mara gives a really good turn as well. Like I say, the beginning, I'm not really feeling the conflict. I don't think that's down to her, that's mainly script problems. As we get later on into the film, when we've been on this journey with her, and she gets close to this dog, there's moments where you feel what she feels, and I feel that a lot of that is down to Mara's performance. I think this film also does give quite a good insight into what it's like possibly to be over in Iraq and places like that, and to be dealing with people who don't speak your language. Anyone who comes up to you at any given moment could be the enemy. And what does that do to the way in which you interact with all the people around you? And I think this film does a pretty good job of showing that. There's one moment when Megan tells this young boy the name of her dog, and she gets choked off for it. And I'm sat there watching it, and I think I would have done the same thing. It's just this little boy. But then when you look at what they're dealing with over there, when you hear what this guy says, why she's getting choked off, it kind of makes you think, you know what, where's that line? There's no room here to be sometimes a decent person. The DVD extras on this film are a little bit sparse, it must be said. There's only really one short behind the scenes documentary, but I did find it quite fascinating to see just how many women were on the production of this film. It seems to have been crewed almost entirely by women. There's a production photo during the making of, in which you see the crew all lined up, and it's just a whole host of women, and that's interesting just to see, in the modern day world of Hollywood and filmmaking and all that kind of stuff, to see a film like this, a war movie that is mostly crewed by women. It just goes to show that really gender doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't really play much of an impact in whether or not a film is good or bad. It's just you either know how to make films or you don't, and in this case it seems like for the most part they do. So I liked this film. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think if they'd have done a bit more in the opening act, in the first act, just to really make me feel the conflict within this character, within this main character, I think that it may have been bumped up to a 4, but it's a good feel-good movie. I think by the time you get to the end of it, you're going to be feeling pretty decent, pretty good inside. Rex is released on digital download on the 12th of March and then on DVD on the 19th of March. But I want to know what you think about the film. If you've seen it, please do comment below and let me know your thoughts. Until next time, cracking.